to the Pearly Eye Review. I'm PJ, and this video is long overdue, I know. I wanted to record my spoiler review video when I was feeling better and had my energy up. So here's my spoiler review of Avengers Endgame. I'll start off with things I didn't like in the film. I'm looking down at my chicken scratch notes, so bear with me if you see me looking down and looking back up. Just to keep track of all my topics. The first thing I didn't like was Captain America. When towards the end of the movie, he goes back in time to the 70s to return the space stone that they took from the Shield secret bunker where Shield is back in the 70s. And Captain America doesn't come back to his time. He stays there and decides to have a life with Peggy. That was his love interest in the very first Captain America film, Captain America First Avenger. Here's the problem I have with that. Well, first of all, from what I remember from Captain America Winter Soldier, Peggy gets married and has children. If I'm not crazy, I haven't watched it in a long time. I actually have a copy of it on DVD. So, but what I remember when she was doing that documentary for the museum for Captain America in honor of Captain America, when they thought he was dead and gone, she mentions that she married and had children. Now, so when fast forward back to Endgame, when Captain decides to go live with Peggy and have a life with her, what happens to her husband and children? So she just abandoned them? And also, a lot of people thought this was nasty. I didn't think so. I feel like Captain had just missed his turn with Peggy. Captain falls in love with Peggy's niece, Sharon. I didn't have a problem with it because they actually fall in love in the comic books. Sharon and Captain America, they have a turbulent relationship. It's on and off, but that's who he ends up with. And so Sharon is nowhere to be found in Infinity War or Endgame. I think the Russo brothers should address that, because all of a sudden Sharon is just non-existent. Really? But bottom line is, what happened to Peggy's family? Another issue I have. Now, maybe I'm understanding this wrong. Okay, when Captain shows back up, not from the past through the quantum realm time machine thing, he comes back as an old man. So that means he stayed in the 70s and just, lived his life with Peggy. But here's the thing. Okay, from what I understood, okay, here's my thing with Captain America. I only knew Captain America through the comic books if he were in the Avengers and if he would just appear in Spider-Man comic books. I wasn't a huge fan of Captain America, still not. I just like him, how he's portrayed more in the movies. For those that really know Captain America in the comic books, and the reason why I'm asking this is, what I understood as far as in the movie version, I thought the super soldier serum makes him age slower. He can look older, but not as old as he looked when he reappears to the Avengers, reappears to Hulk, Bucky, and Falcon, when he reveals to where he is, why he didn't show back up in the quantum realm time machine. And also, people will say, well, it's only during the time period, I guess, when they found him in the 90s. It's because he was frozen. But I thought because of the super soldier serum, that's why he wouldn't look very old. It'll take him a long time to look like a old man. I'm confused by that. That's my first question. Something that didn't make sense to me. I didn't think he. I know I'm rambling, but I didn't think he could age. Look like an old man. He would be old in numbers, but his physical appearance, he wouldn't look old. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm understanding something. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. I didn't think he could look that old. I, yeah, I'm really confused by that. Yeah, that's my question. Somebody explain that to me who really knows Captain America. Well, another thing I didn't like, another problem I have, and something I didn't like was, okay, not, I'm torn by. I shouldn't say I don't necessarily like, but I'm torn by because pretty much in the comic books, Bucky at some point is Captain America, and Falcon is at some point is Captain America. I don't have a problem with Falcon being Captain America, but how they did it is what I have a problem with. Okay, because Bucky has been there for Steve since they were like children, little kids. He was like the brother he never had. Bucky was to Captain America, Steve Rogers. And all he went through in Civil War trying to protect Bucky, knowing the truth that, about what he did to Tony's parents, I think what should have happened was when he came back as an old man to reveal to them that he lived his life with Peggy, stayed in the past, to reveal that he's retiring as Captain America, what happens is he should have talked to Bucky first, as if, okay, told Bucky, hey, um, I've made my decision. As you can see, I've lived my life with Peggy. I'm retiring the shield. I'm giving it to you, Bucky, at first. Now hold on. No, I know some of you will be like, but no. It should have been Falcon. It should have been Falcon. I'm fine with how it happened. Okay, no. Here's how, because that's his best friend. He's been friends way longer than Falcon. They're childhood friends. He and Bucky. He should have given the shield first to Bucky, and then hold on, stay with me. Then Bucky should have said to Steve, this is how I think it should have played out. This Bucky should have said to Steve, no, I'm good. Thanks for the offer, but I don't think I don't feel comfortable holding the shield because of, he may feel still a little bit guilty of what he did. He's like, I don't think I've earned that honor to wear your shield, to use your shield. And then, this is how it should have played out. Again, Bucky turns to Falcon and says, I think you should have it. That's how it should have happened. So, all three of them can have an exchange. And the captain, thinking about it for a while, like, looking at Bucky and looking at Falcon, is like, yeah, okay, I agree. I think you should have it, Sam. That's Falcon. I think that's how that should have went. So all three of them can have a moment of passing on the shield. That's how I think that scene should have went. So everybody can have, all three of them. They've all become good friends. So nobody's left out. I felt like Bucky was left out. All that you did for Bucky in Civil War, you're gonna ignore him, your childhood friend, and then just give it to Sam and not really address Bucky and have your moment with Bucky. You know what I mean? I didn't like that. No, have a moment with Bucky. All three of you should should have had a moment. But yeah, that's the problem. I think that scene should have been rearranged. Another thing I didn't like, I think a character was so unnecessary in this. You probably know who I'm talking about. Um, she's cute as a button. Tony Stark's daughter. Unnecessary character. She's adorable, but no, because I don't like when movies use little kids to make you feel sorry for a character because, as always, I don't know about you guys, the thing about Tony Stark, I never really liked him in the comic books because Tony's such an a-hole. Um, but what's crazy is in the movies, because I like Robert Downey Jr., you have like a love-hate relationship with Iron Man. You know he's a jerk, but he's still oddly likable. But he pissed me off in this movie when 5 years later in the movie, it is revealed that Tony has a daughter, 5-year-old little girl. And they meet up with Ant-Man and the rest of the Avengers, and Tony's out in the woods living his life. They come to Iron Man saying, "Hey, we need your help to help us fix the quantum realm machine so we can possibly go back in time to try and get Thanos." And Tony says, "Well, why go back in time? I've moved on. You all need to move on too. I got my family." And it's like, Tony, have you forgotten? He only realizes how selfish he is until he sees an old picture of him and Peter, which is being a Spider-Man fan, I was pissed off. I'm like, I love Spider-Man. I'm like, really? No, no, no. Remember Iron Man in Civil War? You brought that, I think he was like 15-year-old to fight in your war. It's your fault, Tony. Don't start that, "Oh, well, I have my life. I've moved on with Pepper and whatever." No, no, how dare you? No, no. Let's not forget. Because half of this is your fault, okay? I was so mad with him. And then she's like a plot device, Tony's daughter, to make us feel sorry for him because, of course, he dies. Tony sacrifices himself, like, but remember, he has that precious little daughter, and we should feel sorry for. No, I don't feel sorry for you. And I expected either Captain or Iron Man to die. I predicted that. I prepared myself for it, and because it got to a point where Robert Downey Jr. no longer wanted to play Iron Man, and he, although very grateful for the role, he even made a joke about it, saying something like, "I don't want to play this role until it gets too embarrassing. I don't want to be the old man in the suit." It was like he's getting kind of weary of the role, and I'm fine with it. It was I like Robert Downey Jr., but it's time for him to do something else. He was growing out of Iron Man. But don't use this little girl to make us, well, but remember Tony again. Tony has a child and oh, he sacrificed it. No, 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 being a jerk. Yeah, think about Spider-Man that disappeared. Talk about, I've moved on. It's not my problem. It's not our problem anymore. You all need to move on to, like, just no, something like that, he said. I was like, just stop. But again, something I didn't like, it just, you may feel differently. You may have liked that he had a daughter, but I just, no. I don't like little kids being used like that. Oh, make us feel sorry for Iron Man. No, I don't feel sorry for Iron Man. just no. No. I just felt like Iron Man's daughter was a unnecessary character. Sorry, she's adorable, but just no. Last two things about what I did not like in Avengers Endgame. Not, I know some of you may disagree. I know the movie's like 3 hours long, but I think they could have squeezed in there. There's so much chaos in Wakanda, not having a ruler, the people of Wakanda trying to find themselves. What else? I think they should have showed Aunt May dealing with the loss of Peter. Now they may show that in Spider-Man Far From Home. I don't know, that's coming up. I just think they should have just shown a smidget of that. We see Okoye a little bit. That's T'Challa's head of guard, but I want to see how just messed up Wakanda was, and what was Aunt May doing, and how she was living in her apartment alone. Not having Peter around, and we could address the whole that. Now, see, this is you want to do something different with Uncle Ben. This is how you address it. She lost her husband, Uncle Ben, and now she's lost her nephew, Peter. See, that's how you address it. If they want to do something with the whole Uncle Ben situation, her just having so much loss and just trying to cope with all the loss that has happened in her life. Last thing, it's more like I'm torn. The sacrifice to get the Soul Stone between Black Widow and Hawkeye. It should have been Hawkeye. No, it should have been Hawkeye. Because here's the thing. I don't hate Hawkeye. There's some people that just do not like him. I like Hawkeye, but him having his own solo movie, he's more of a like a character that works good with a group. I think it would have been more interesting to see Black Widow in the future. So, since Black Widow's dead, I'm assuming that this movie that's supposed to be coming out with her, it's obviously more likely going to be a prequel. I don't know. Is it too late to have a prequel story of her? Because I felt like they waited so long to tell her story. So, I just, who cares? I would rather see how she progressed from the Avengers doing her own thing rather than being with a group all the time. But it was sad. Okay. To things I did like. I mentioned this before. When years had passed by, I liked the fact that it was 5 years later because it showed the consequences that things don't change when you don't do anything. Yeah, things just stayed messed up. Yeah, because I like the fact that they went to go, I had already predicted this, that they were going to go get Thanos and chop his head off and, try and get the Infinity Stones, but I said, everybody said this. I bet you he's gonna destroy the stones and they can't do anything about it. I like that because everybody knew that they were gonna go and kill him, but he had already gotten rid of the stones. So I wasn't shocked about that, but I like the fact that they had actually showed it. I like the fact that other characters that wouldn't necessarily be in the forefront, they would be in the background, just being supportive characters. Nebula really shined in this. I really like that. Thor shined in this too. I think they finally got a handle of how to present Thor, and I really, really like it. Now, let me tell you something. Everybody feels bad about Tony. I felt bad for Thor, because Thor felt guilty of, like, I should have chopped his head off. It's my fault. Everything's all messed up, and he was drinking. He became an alcoholic. Like, oh man, that's not funny, but it's just, there were parts of it that he was just down and out. He let himself go, and he had a belly. I really like that. It just showed that he just felt so bad about just not chopping Thanos' head off in Infinity War, and that he just felt the weight, more of the weight of just not getting there in time and doing something. But I'm like, look, if you look at it, it was everybody's fault. So it wasn't just you, Thor. But man, God, there was times when Chris Hemsworth, Thor had tears in his eyes. I'm like, okay, you guys are acting your off, and I love it. Also, I'm looking down at my notes. Characters calling out the obvious. I like the fact that the other Avengers, when Captain Marvel comes back and saves Tony, they tell her, like, where have you been for decades? Like, you've never teamed up with us before, don't come here telling us what to do, Captain Marvel. That was more from Rhodey, War Machine. Rhodey was like, just no, you can't come here and be a team player when you've never been a team player. I love that. I like the fact that the Avengers don't really like her at first. Um, because I think here's the thing. They did that on purpose because you're not supposed to like her right off the bat. Everybody's kind of griping about, oh, she's boring, she's this. I'm pretty sure in the future we'll start to like her. I think they're doing this on purpose to kind of make us like, well, who are you? You've never been here before. I like this because I think the future of Captain Marvel, that she will earn her place within the Avengers. I liked the part where they go back in the past and okay, Hulk, Smart Hulk, Captain America, and Tony go back into the past back in 2012 to get the Space Stone and the Time Stone and the Mind Stone. The Hydra guards take the Mind Stone, if I'm not mistaken. And the future Captain gets in the elevator with the Hydra agents, the same agents that beat him up in Captain America, Winter Soldier. I like the fact that in order to earn their trust, because he's from the future, he knows they're Hydra agents. They're not really with SHIELD. SHIELD has been compromised. He tells them, "Hail Hydra." It had me laughing because that's a nod to the comic books where, here's the thing, they made it work in the movies, but this is where I don't like it in the comic books, because in the comic books it's revealed that Captain America really has always been part of Hydra. He was never a good guy. I'm like, no, Captain America has to be a good guy, and give a nod to the comic books. I thought that was so funny. And they were like, oh, in the elevator, the Hydra agents were like, oh, he really is part. Oh man, because I thought at first it was going to end up like fighting them, brawling it, just like it was in Winter Soldier. That was so cool. I really, really liked that. Last but not least, the final battle where Thanos assaults the Avengers headquarters. Everything is blown. I'm like, see, this is how it happens in the comic books. They could be talking and like, yeah, we accomplished this mission. Okay, what are we gonna do next? And the bad guy just comes in and just ruins everything, blows everything up. Thanos came, snuck through the quantum realm time machine, has his ship, and blows up the Avengers headquarters, and everybody's just like under the rebel. They're separated and they're trying to find each other, and I just love that. That was like, I just couldn't stop screaming. I'm like, that is how it is in the comic books. The Russo brothers understand the comic books. Good Lord. Yes. And of course, where everybody comes back, Hulk uses, they collected all the stones from the past, where Hulk snapped his fingers. They made a new glove, snapped his fingers, and brought everybody back. I couldn't tell you what I screamed. I knew it was going to happen. In the comic books, they get snapped away and they all come back. But I knew it. But to see it in the movies, I screamed when I saw my main man, my lover, my comic book love, Spider-Man. He swung on that screen and he's so adorable. Tom Holland is so good as Spider-Man. He runs up to Tony Stark. He's like, I was asleep. I must have fell asleep, and Doctor Strange tells me to get ready. It's 5 years later. We gotta go help. He's just going on and on and on. He didn't know what was happening. He just was trying to tell Tony, like, I don't know what happened. I just reappeared. It's like, we gotta go fight. We gotta help everybody. Oh man, and I laughed also when he and Tony and Spider-Man hugged, because remember in Spider-Man Homecoming, Tony didn't really want to show affection to Peter, and he finally gave him that hug that he owed Peter. That was funny. Yeah, just everybody had, Black Panther had his moment to shine. Peter had his moment to shine. I like that they were sort of playing Ring Around the Rosie or a hot potato with the glove, the new glove they had, trying to keep it away from Thanos. Spider-Man had it. He was like running around. Then Black Panther had it. Black Panther, oh, I loved him. When he came, he said, "Nah, let me have it. I got this." I loved it. Then Spider-Man took it. Oh man, then Spider-Man was getting tackled. It was like football. It was like comic book football. I love it. I don't even like sports. I just love that. Oh man. Yeah, and then Iron Man uses the glove to sacrifice himself. I like that everybody had time to shine. That's what Doctor Strange was like. If I tell you what's gonna happen, you're not gonna want to do it. But it has to happen how I saw it because that's the only way we win. Because, it's the same thing we're saying in Infinity War. It has to happen like this. That Tony has to sacrifice himself to save everybody. So it happened. Tony Stark died. I expected that, and I have no problem with that. Yeah. But so overall, just I'm looking forward to the future of the Avengers and the standalone films. I can't wait to see Spider-Man Far From Home. And whatever's going on with that Black Widow movie and Black Panther too. Yeah. Overall, those are the things I liked and disliked. Um, it is the tail end, of Infinity War. All 22 movies was worth it. This is how you make comic book movies, where you have the balance of drama, action, and humor. It doesn't take itself so seriously. It's everything I could have asked for, being a little kid with, comic books and those TV shows, those 90s TV shows. Marvel TV shows, Spider-Man, the animated series in the 90s, Hulk, Iron Man, the 90s, all of that. I never thought I'd see these movies done well, done great in movie form, cinematic form. Never. I would have never thought. Would have never thought. But they've done it. I hope the Russo brothers stick around because they seem to be the ones that understand comic books the most, especially with these big group films with so many characters. They get it. They know how to make it work. But I am hopeful for the future. I hope they stay with Marvel. This is what, going a little bit off topic, this is what Star Wars needs to do. I'm still hanging in there with Star Wars, but they need to take notes. They have to do something to fix Star Wars. But that's a whole nother thing. I'm still gonna see Rise of the Skywalkers. I'm still hanging in there. But it is what it is. So what did you think? What were your favorite moments in Avengers Endgame? Do you disagree with the things I disliked about the whole Captain thing? I don't think he should have stayed with Peggy. I think he should. Well, here's the thing. Here's my solution to that. I think he should have had his dance with her and then come back, and then just said, you know what, you guys take it over, and played it out how I said they should have played it out. Passed on the shield. I think he, and just retired. But if they ever needed him, he's still available to help out. That's how I think that should have happened. Had his dance, but come right back from the past. Again, all the stuff I disliked. Do you agree or disagree with me? What are your favorite moments? That's my spoiler talk. This is a must-see. If you have not seen it, you have to see it, and then backtrack. Have a marathon watching all the films that lead up to Endgame. That's my review. Please, please, please give a like and subscribe to my channel, and click the bell. Give a thumbs up if you liked it, and that's my spoiler talk. Thank you.